Hello, WhatCulture, it's me, Simon Miller. I'm about to do ups and downs for Backlash. Now, as you've just seen or heard, my voice dipped as I said that. That's because if you haven't seen WWE Backlash, it wasn't exactly a very good show. In fact, you could argue it was terrible. However, I'm a positive dude, so I'm going to try and rip out the good bits as much as I can, but brace yourself. Yes, Backlash, maybe one of the worst WWE shows we've seen in about a year. But hey, let's look on the bright side of life, and that is that we together can go through the show and we give the good bits an up and we give the bad bits a down. Let's ups and downs. So we'll touch on the pre-show because I think it's only fair that we do. We had Bayley, she was taking on Ruby Riott, nothing happened here, it was dull down. It was predictable all things considered, and why did you have a reason to care? Liv Morgan kept getting involved, so eventually Bayley went to beat her up. That caused a distraction, Riott kick, 1, 2, 3, Bayley loses. Why did I watch the pre-show? Well, because I had to. But why? Here's why. You know the stuff. Don't worry about it. Move on. And then the pay-per-view started, and amazingly, we had the best point of the entire night. And let me tell you this, that's a rarity for the rest of the 3 hours. But yes, Miz versus Seth Rollins for the IC title, getting up. Now, I think the real thing we've got to take away from this is that Seth Rollins has really come into his own over the last few months, and I think right now he's one of the best damn pro wrestlers in the world. If you put him against another great pro wrestler, he has an incredible match, and if you put him with a wrestler who's decent at best, he can still drag them to an incredible match. So right now, Seth Rollins, you whooping ass. This whole match seemed designed to underline that as well, because he kicked out of not one, but 2 skull-crushing finales, and at one point, the Miz was going for a third. He was going to hit that skull-crushing finale off the rope, and Rollins like, nah, and after some reversals, slam, curb stomp, 1, 2, 3, Seth Rollins retains the IC title, and again, this was really good. Also, it was easily the best thing on Backlash. If you tuned in going, I wonder what the best thing on Backlash was, it was this, and it was the best thing by about 10 miles. Screw that, 67 miles, nothing else even came close. And then we had the women's Raw title match between Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. Now, look, I will tell you this. Was it the best thing I've ever seen? No. But was I excited about it? I actually was. I thought they told a good story. I thought Alexa Bliss was a really good heel here. However, I don't want to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy to get him down. But the major problem here was the story they were trying to tell. You've got Alexa Bliss, who's like 2'8", and you've got Nia Jax, who's like 10'5". Now, I don't think they're the official heights. I'm just guessing here. But sometimes it looks really dumb when you do have someone that small wailing on someone that big. Why can't Nia Jax just squash her? That would work. The bully got a comeuppance. The poor person wins. Why can't we do that? But we didn't, and we had to have a traditional WWE match, and that kind of sucked. However, I did like the finish. Alexa Bliss went for the Twisted Bliss, Nia Jax caught her, gave her Samoan drop, 1, 2, 3. But look, I'm not gonna lie, when it was over, I was kind of like, I think I'm glad it's done. And it got even worse, because Nia Jax cut a promo afterwards, and clearly none of the fans wanted to hear it, even though she was trying to talk about, bullying's bad, and don't be bullied, be yourself. And they just booed her, and that made the whole thing really awkward. Nia had to carry on with her scripted lines, and again, I was like, please, let's move on. Samoa Joe then did cut a promo, and I thought that was all right, because no matter what verbiage you give him, he will knock it out of the park. However, saying he was going to take the big dog and turn him into a puppy, that is the worst line on WTV this year. However, I love Samoa Joe, he gets enough. And then the disappointment just started to roll downhill. We got Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. I was actually quite excited about it. I thought they could put on a really good US title match, but they didn't. Let's call a spade a spade. This was boring, getting it down. What I really don't get here is what was the plan? What were we meant to do? The match never went any faster than 2 miles an hour, and then from nowhere, Jeff Hardy hit a twist of fate, he hit a swanton bomb, and Randy Orton was pinned for the 3 count. And I was like, oh, there's no build, no hype. It just happened. And I do think there's actually probably more we can do going forward with this, and maybe that was the point. Randy Orton can now get mad because he just got beaten so easily. He can go heel. We can get super face Jeff Hardy versus bad guy Randy Orton, and I think we'll enjoy that. But given what I expected from this, honestly, it's like that shrug emoji. You know the little one that you got on your phone, the guy that goes, that's what it was like. I watched it, it finished, Jeff Hardy retained, and I went, it also felt like it could have just been on SmackDown. That's what it felt like. It felt like a random SmackDown match that I just tuned into mid-August. Don't know why mid-August, just picking a month. But that's the point. It was random and ultimately fell flat. And I don't know what to say about what came next because yes, it went too long and that gets it down. But everything with Elias, look, I got a bit of a kick out of it. The real reason that I loved it is because Elias just gets better each and every week. He's got that shtick down. He knows how to wind up a crowd. Also, the fans all want to buy into him. So every time he walks out there, it's just fun. And sometimes fun is missing from WWE. This was fun. I like fun. #fun. And the rest here was just ridiculous too. But I do like ridiculous. After Elias had insulted Bruce Springsteen because they were in the New York area, the New Day came out with instruments and they said they wanted to open for Elias. And Elias said, no, you're not going to do that. And then it was time for, hey, let's get the guys who aren't on the show segment. But again, what can I say? I'm an idiot. I smiled. Aiden English came out, Rusev came out, No Way Jose came out, and that also made me chuckle, because in his conga line he had Titus O'Neil and Breezango, and they looked like they were having the best time of their lives. However, it was one of those moments in pro wrestling that if you've never watched the Sport of Kings, or maybe you were introducing someone to it for the first time, they probably turned to you and said, "What the f*** is this?" The whole point of this was for Bobby Roode to turn up at the end and DDT Elias, and that's what happened, so that feud will continue. And at one point during all the fracas, Rusev called Elias a budget Bob Dylan. I love you, Rusev. Marry me. I was surprised by what happened next though, so you know what? Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass? Getting up. Now the match was nothing really, but I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus on the ending, because I was convinced that Big Cass was going to win. He's a tall guy, he's been out injured, WWE loves tall guys. Daniel Bryan has all that stuff around him, what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to job out Daniel Bryan, but they didn't. And not only did they not do that, Daniel Bryan beat him really quickly and made him tap out almost instantly with the yes lock. I like that a lot. Bryan then did get laid out afterwards because again, tall guy. But hey, at one point I thought Daniel Bryan was going to lose this, and that would have been awful. Imagine Daniel Bryan lost a random match with Big Cash or Backlash. That would have sucked. It didn't happen, but maybe now this feud has to continue and it could go downhill. But let's not worry about that. Let's look at it at the context it was presented. This was better than I thought. Hence why I got it up. It is a down though for Charlotte versus Carmella in the SmackDown Women's title match. It never really found its feet. It never really found its momentum. It was just another one of those, oh, it's just there, whatever. It's getting it down. It was just pretty straightforward and I think designed to get through it as quickly as we possibly could. The ending came when Charlotte went for a moonsault. She missed, she hurt her leg. Carmella then focused on the hamstring. She rolled her up 1, 2, 3. Carmella is still your SmackDown Women's Champ. Like a lot on this show, it just felt like a random bout. It lacked any heat. And yeah, it came and it went. What are you going to do? And it's another down because AJ Styles versus Nakamura, well, I don't know what's happening anymore. Down. Now the first problem is that this wasn't the main event. That's right, I got my big chopping hand out. Why wasn't it the main event? Why did Roman Reigns have to be put on the last match of the card? Again, this was for the WWE title, and I get it. Because of the finish, you didn't want to end the show that way. You wanted a clean victory, but this is dumb. Whatever belt is being defended, that goes on last. And if they both are, then you decide. I don't care, but put one on last. But no, it wasn't. And while the match itself I actually thought was decent, and I enjoyed the narrative that was being told, it ended when both AJ Styles and Nakamura whacked each other in the balls, and it hurt so much their testicles must have exploded because neither man could answer the 10 count. That's right, it's another non-finish. We had that double count out at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and now this. Also, it's a no DQ match. Why are we doing 10 counts? I know it doesn't really tie in, but it kind of does. Maybe we should have just waited for them to both get up so we can actually have a winner. But no, we can't do that. You want to know why? Well, because wrestling's not real. And that was part of the story, but I don't care. I want a winner. I want a winner. And it's mad because right now I think a lot of fans, if Nakamura did win the title, would be like, yeah, that's good. That's kind of what we expected. It wouldn't hurt AJ Styles. AJ Styles would still feel strong. He held that belt for ages. He could then go after Nakamura. That would change up the feud. But no, we're not doing that. And I'd like someone to tell me why. There's the comments, why? And yeah, I know we can now carry on this story about the Bulls and we can do more matches with them and maybe we insert Samoa Joe into the mix. So I'm not saying it's going to be bad going forward, but this was just nonsensical and it didn't need to happen. And it's also like WWE is now screwing up Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. How is that possible? Honestly, how is that possible? That makes less sense than, I don't know, the theory of relativity. Well, actually, I understand quite well, but you take my point. And then all of a sudden, it was Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman going against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot this was a match. Then I remembered, it's a down. That didn't work, because how could I know before the match? Well, I thought about it, the point is down. And the tale being told here was that once again we're going to start teasing a breakup between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. That is also bonkers, because right now they work well together. I'm not bored of that tandem, and we've seen them have so many singles matches, I don't think we need to go right back to that. Anyway, after having his ass whooped for a while, Sami Zayn decided to leave. Kevin Owens didn't like that, so Sami Zayn threw Kevin Owens in the ring. Kevin Owens got beaten up, then later on Kevin Owens got his own back, threw Sami Zayn in the ring. Sami Zayn didn't like that, so he completely left. Kevin Owens got smashed around, Bobby Lashley hit his finishing move, 1, 2, 3, they lost. And then because it wasn't enough that they hadn't been the victors, Braun Strowman gave both KO and Sami his running power slam, and at this point, the crowd didn't care, they didn't make a peep. This match was rubbish. And then yeah, it was main event time, and Roman Reigns was put in it once again. What can I say? It's getting her down. And like I say, I love Samoa Joe, but this was absolutely ludicrous. For one, it took forever to get going, and that's not what anybody wanted to see. If you put Reigns and Joe in a match, I want to see them fight, I want to see them brawl, I want to see them try to take each other's heads off. I want aggression, I want blood. Well, not actual blood, because I don't really like blood, but I want something more than this. And eventually we did transition into that classic WWE style where we have signature move after signature move, and then bam! Roman Reigns hit a spear. Again, 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns, he just won. You're like, oh, okay, see you, Joe. Have a good time on SmackDown. Also, the crowd cracked all over this. At one point, they were chanting CM Punk, and then another time, they were chanting Beat the Traffic, as some people actually left early. That is not a good sign. They should not have put this on a main event. A, it wasn't as good as it could have been, and B, we had a world title match 2 matches before. This was crazy. This whole show was crazy. I feel crazy, you feel crazy, everybody feels crazy. And that was Backlash, and apparently this was supposed to be some kind of experimental show. Well, let me tell you this, WWE, if this was your experiment, you failed. Never, ever, ever do this again. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about Backlash. Like, share, and subscribe. Head on over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture, and I'm still going to end the video like this, even though Backlash absolutely sucked. I enjoyed it. I love a pay-per-view. It's a bank holiday here in the UK, which meant I could get up and leisurely watch it and feel good about life and not true I was up the crack of dawn, but that's not the point. Wrestling's just great. There you go. I found the positivity, but let's face it, not WWE's best.
Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Aren't you a star? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe below. And also, there's probably more content floating up above my head, so why not check that out as well? Could be a laugh. Probably. 6 out of 10.